Hey guys, it's Marshall Tingle with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside Report for this past week of February 22nd through the 28th. So another busy week here across the state of Kentucky in your auction barns and markets. Runs are pretty steady to what they were this time last week, guys. 20,554 head of cattle marketed statewide. Now, let's talk about this market. We've seen a lot of things going on in the world around us, guys. There's been some volatility in the board, and there has been some current events going on in the world around us. It's kind of shaking this market up. Now, what I will say is, all in all, this thing is still pretty good. But you did see a little bit better market on the first half of the week than we did on the back half of the week. And your CME feeder cattle index kind of reflects that. Your cash market reflects that. But all in all, this thing is still really good. Now, that being said, we're going to call your feeder steers mixed anywhere from $5 to $10 higher to $5 to $10 lower, depending on what time of the week you were on. Now, as far as your heifers are concerned, your heifer cattle, we're going to call those about $4 to $8 higher across the board there. Your big yearling cattle, about $4 to $6 softer. But again, the first half of the week, these things were trading really nicely, and then as this board got kind of funky, it backed up just a little bit, and your cash market and your CME feeder cattle index, like I said, does reflect that. But check out these prices, guys. These little lightweight cattle are still on fire no matter what you say. Your top selling 2-weight steer, state of Kentucky, $7.50. Your top selling 3-weight steer across state of Kentucky, $7. Call your 4-weight steers. Call those about $5.50 on average there. They topped off at $6. Your 5-weight steers, I'm going to call those about $5 on the average there. They topped off at $5.45. And your big 6-weight steers, call those about $4.20 on the average. Ready for this? They topped off at $4.75. So as you can see, these little things worth quite a bit of money as they're getting green grass on their mind. Now let's talk about your yearlings. Several big loads of yearlings, and you'll see as I'm talking here and I read off these lists, I've got a big list of them, but you'll see which ones traded on the first half of the week and which ones traded kind of on the back half of the week. We had a little bit of fluctuation there on your price depending on the day that they got sold. So check this out. Here's 40 head of black steers, weighed 801 on the average at 350 flat. Back half of the week. Now, check these out. These are going to be the first half of the week. 66 head of these. These are blacks and Charolais cross steers. 807 on the average, 370.20. So as you can see, kind of a big difference there between what day of the week they sold on, just because what the board did and everything going on in the world around us. Now, here's another set. 40 of these are going to be mixed steers. 826 on the average, 366 on the dollar. First half of the week. Now, here's 43 head of them, guys. Be blacks and Charolais crosses. 825 on the average, 352. So not too far off there, but you can see the difference. Now, here's 59 head of all black steers, weighed 848 on the average at 364. First half of the week there. Now, 59 head of mixed steers, 847, 347 and a quarter. Back half of the week. But all in all, guys, it's still a lot of dollars when you put a calculator to it and you sharpen your pencil. These things are still adding up quite nicely. Now, we did have a World of Holstein trade this past week. Check these things out now. Here's 65 head of 7-weight Holsteins, weighed 767 on the average at 321.50. And then here's 57 head of these Holstein steers, 900.